Another way you can organize your speech is to just tell a story. Stories are natural. If you can tell a story as the entire impromptu speech, then you're getting to the second part of what I want to talk about when we get there. So Toastmasters gives us a 5-step formula. They give us 4 different strategies, and the other resources I'm going to show you in a minute show some other strategies that you can use. You can talk about cause and effect, for instance, as one of the strategies to use. But if you have in mind a few strategies and you pick the one that's appropriate for your topic, then you have a better opportunity to organize yourself on the fly as you're talking and those sorts of things. And then finally, Toastmasters gives us 3 sort of rules, 3 things to always do. So the things to always do is, always be sincere. Is one of those things. Don't be disingenuous. Now, sometimes I know, as seasoned Toastmasters and politicians, we'll do things like ignore the question or hijack the question to say what we really want to say. But their advice is, take the questioner's question seriously. There are 3 points. Really get back to the heart of it. Be brief, be sincere, and make a point. Those types of things. Now, what other resources are there available to you? The things I've been talking about are also talked about in the Think Fast Table Topics Handbook. I have 2 copies of that handbook, and anybody who promises me that they will commit and gets to me first to actually reading it and trying to use it in their table topics can have those 2 copies. There's the Storytelling Advanced Communication series. I'm about to talk about storytelling. I think that's a great resource for how we can take on impromptu speaking and table topics. And then there's a few things on the web that I found particularly useful. They elaborate on the same sort of principles that Toastmasters uses. So now let's get on to this idea of storytelling. So what's a story? Well, a story has things like plot and characters and a narrative point of view and those things, right? The stories are really just us drawing on our experiences and resources. So whether you're 8 or 80 or 18, we all have experiences. Whether you're a PhD and a professor, or whether you're a construction worker, you have experiences. Take advantage of those experiences. So our topic today is water. Mark Twain said that a good impromptu speech takes about 3 weeks to prepare. But how do you prepare for an impromptu speech? Well, you knew today your table talks was going to be on water, so how do you prepare? Did you take a minute to think about what water? Brainstorm right now, water. Say things that come to your mind. Don, water.
Showers.
Showers. Fred.
Swimming.
Monique.
Fish.
Arnie.
Diving.
Kate.
Thank God. I'm thirsty.
Carl.
Drought.
Drought. I used to sail. I used to scuba dive. I had soldiers that delivered water in Desert Storm. I almost drowned in Carmel Bay one time. Water. Sun Tzu said that water forms itself to the ground that it moves over, just as a soldier adapts himself to his enemy. You probably have quotes about water. Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. Whatever they are, brainstorm a little bit. Get water on your brain. Go broad first, but then start thinking a little more deeply. Is there one of those that's a good story that I could probably adapt to almost any question? So suppose Dawn's table topic master stands up here and she says to us, how are you going to fix the California drought? Wow, that's a tough question, right? Well, you might use that prep structure that they gave us. Point. What point do you want to make? You might decide, I'm going to blame the environmentalist. I'm going to blame development. I'm going to blame population increase. I'm going to blame those farmers. Whatever you want to blame. I'm going to blame climate change. Figure out what your point is. Okay, you've got an opening. Now here's where the storytelling comes in. You need to have a reason and an example. So if we take Carl's point that it's climate change, he gave us several examples of how extreme change is. And less rain is the problem. And so we need to, his point is we need to prepare for the future and expect less rain. We didn't fill the aquifers, we didn't fill the reservoirs when we had rain 4 or 5 years ago. We came into this drought ill-prepared. For some reason, those things didn't get filled up. But is there a story you can tell? Maybe the story is about the smelt fish. Maybe your story is about the farmers and how they don't, by historical sorts of circumstances, they don't pay a market price for the water. Maybe your story is about the water that must be left in the streams because 50% of the water in Northern California has to flow into the ocean. Whatever your story is, you build your story around what you know and what you believe and your example. And then when you come to your conclusion, if you're a master storyteller, you try to connect that story to your point in an elegant way. One thing that can help you is quotes. People love quotes. That's why I hang this speech on Mark Twain's quote that it takes 3 weeks to create a good impromptu speech. What's good about that quote? It's almost a story in itself. It has that plot twist. You don't expect someone to say that impromptu speaking takes 3 weeks to prepare for. But it also has meaning for my point. My point to you is you can prepare yourself to be a better impromptu speaker. You can't prepare yourself for the exact question, but you can take inventory of the experiences in your life, the knowledge you have. You might take 2 seconds to check a fact or something like that. You might ask somebody else a question. But you can prepare yourself for water, right? What's another water question we might get? Anybody? If you were table topics master, what water question would you ask?
What have you done lately to conserve water?
What have you done lately to conserve water? So now how can we connect a story to that? Maybe you tried to fix something in your house that had to do with water. Ended up wasting more water than you'll save in the next 5 years. Whatever it was, find an experience there, tell a story around it. We're storytellers as humans. We love to hear and tell stories. And they can equip you to be a better impromptu speaker. Remember, there's a 5-step formula. There are at least 4 patterns that you can use. There are 3 Toastmaster rules. There are resources and storytelling. That's what I was here to tell you. That's what I told you, and I thank you.